What's up, guys? Matt Fragger back again. Got another fragrance review video for you. Today I want to share a fragrance with you that I just got in the mail today. This is hot out of the mailbox. And here is the box for it. It's Emir Super Crush. This is from Paris Corner, their Emir line. They got a few Mancera clones in this line. There's a Cedrat Bose clone. I believe it's called Cedrat Essence. And then there's a Tonka Cola clone. I don't know what that one's called off the top of my head. And then you have this one. This is called Super Crush, and it's a clone of Mancera's Instant Crush. Fantastic job, I think, on the bottle design. The glass is hefty and thick. This is a 75 ml, and it's extrait de parfum. Nice metal plate. The cap is good and heavy, got some good heft to it. Really well made as far as the quality goes on this bottle. Really nice bottle here. And so your question is, how much does it smell like Instant Crush? Well, I'd say that Mancera's Instant Crush is probably one of my favorite fragrances that I've ever smelled ever. It is more than likely one of my favorite fragrance. I'd stretch to say it's probably my favorite fragrance. I just love it. This one is just, in my opinion, Mancera's Instant Crush is one that you just fall in love with right away, and it's like you can't get enough of it, and every time you smell it, you're reminded of the reason why you love it so much. It's always there for you every time when you want that Instant Crush hit. You put your nose on this thing, it's like, yeah, there it is. So, tough task to clone this one. I know there are a couple other clones of it floating around out there, but I haven't come across them or really seen them. This is the first one that I've seen, and it is on first impressions here. Like I can show you real quick the atomizer. I will show you the atomizer on it because it is a good atomizer, but I'll give you an atomizer test here. It's kind of puffy and short. Like, it's not a long string, it's kind of short and puffy, but it's all right. And yeah, guys, they did a great job of going after the DNA of Instant Crush here. This one, I would say, in the open, I did spray this on my skin like a few hours ago, just so I can get an idea of what the dry down was going to be like. And on the open here, you get a little bit more floral than you do out of the Mancera, a little bit of a powdery kind of floral essence that you don't necessarily get out of the Mancera. And on first spray with the Instant Crush, on first spray with the Super Crush, there is a little bit of a kind of an alcohol blast kind of deal going on. You know, it's like it doesn't come out right out of the gate smooth sailing. Whereas obviously the Mancera, as soon as you spray it, it's like immediately bang, it's right on. This one, now, don't let that put you off of this fragrance. Yes, this one does get a little bit, I guess you could say, a slow start, because when you first spray it, it is a little muddled and a little bit not quite put together when you first spray it, in my opinion. But after about 20 seconds, it gets a lot better. And then after about 10 minutes, it gets a lot better. And the DNA of this is right on par for Instant Crush. Is there going to be a quality difference? Yes, of course. Is there like not quite the punch of the Mancera Instant Crush? Yes. Like, this doesn't quite have that punch, that Mancera kind of oud punch that you get in Instant Crush. Like, it's got this kind of characteristic to the fragrance, like a vibe, like a texture to the fragrance that they're not replicating fully the texture of Instant Crush, if that makes sense to you guys. It doesn't completely nail the texture and all that kind of stuff, but let me tell you something. This one comes so close. Like, this is a very, very good clone of Instant Crush. Now, being that Instant Crush is probably my favorite fragrance ever, and I'm setting the bar very, very high here because it's a fragrance that I hold in high reverence Instant Crush is. And so when I tell you that this thing here, if I had never smelled Instant Crush before in my life and I got this fragrance and I smelled it, I would immediately be like, man, that is a great fragrance. That smells delicious. It's warm, it's inviting, it's sultry, like you get that saffron, like I said, in this one there is a little bit more of a kind of powdery, kind of floral thing going on, especially up top. But when it settles down, I mean, it's really close to Instant Crush, guys. Really, the only difference here is going to be the difference that you're going to typically find a lot of times when you're talking about a clone of a popular fragrance, whether it be designer or niche, whatever. Yeah, you're going to have that quality difference. There's got to be a price to pay for the price you pay. Like this thing here, I got this off Amazon, 25 bucks. I grabbed this off Amazon and it is 100%. Just on first impressions. I've only picked this out of the mailbox here this afternoon. I've had it on my hand for a few hours. But just on first impressions here, this thing is 100% worth the $25 that I paid for it. I would pay $40 for this, honestly, would pay $40 for this and not feel like I paid too much. Like I feel like, okay, that was pretty fair. I'm glad I got it for $25, but if you see this for $35, $40 or whatever, that would be a fair price for this fragrance. This is a great fragrance and it seems like it's going to be really, really good. As I said, I've had it on my hand for a few hours now. Now, it's not quite the bold and snappy projector that Instant Crush is. It just doesn't have that thing, that kick. But, again, don't let that dissuade you from this fragrance. It does have some decent projection, above average projection. It does seem to me like a fragrance that's gonna have some good strength to it. I mean, it's an extrait de parfum. We all know that. Let me get that right. It's an extrait de parfum, and we all know that different concentrations don't always mean worse performance, better performance. You know what I mean? There's a lot of factors that can weigh in there, but it is an extrait. And I do feel like this is going to have some good staying power. I do feel like this is going to stick around on my skin for a good amount of time. I'll come back with a follow-up review and let you know, after I've worn it a few times, let you know what the, longevity is really dialing in at and how it's projecting and all those kind of things. But for the time being, this is just a first impression, really. First impression is through the roof. Really, really happy with this. Really think that any of you guys out there that whether you own Instant Crush and you just want something to kind of like, enjoy that DNA when you don't want to put a dent in your bottle, or you don't own Instant Crush and you're really interested in the scent profile and trying to kind of get that scent profile without having to pay them the higher price tag, this is going to get you there. On first smell of this, if I'd never smelled Instant Crush before, I think I would still really, really love this fragrance. Like, it's really good. It really does a great job. Paris Corner did a great job with this fragrance and with this clone. And thank you, Paris Corner, for making a clone of Instant Crush that's not ass. Because I love Instant Crush, and I was hoping that this was not going to be a disappointment, and it wasn't. This one's worth picking up. It's worth owning in your collection. It's really, really good so far. I'll give a more detailed review later. I'm the Mad Fragger. Thanks for joining me today, guys, and listening to me ramble for a little while about Super Crush by Paris Corner from the Emir line. Thanks, guys. I will see you next time.